Hello, hello. My name is Brittany.
And I'm Kate.
And we are
The Fools.
Join us as we explore everything spiritual, astrological, and overall mystical.
Don't forget to follow your intuition, but more importantly, follow us at The Fools.
Welcome back to another episode of The Fools Podcast.
Hello, hello. We are in the midst of a full moon.
Yay. Happy? Wow. Okay. Happy Libra full moon, guys. You guys know Libra is all about balance, like relationships. So hope you took this time to tell the people you love that you love them and figure out what places in your life you could grow or cut back on and find that balance, baby.
I read somewhere that it was, I didn't read it actually. I heard somewhere someone said it's the pink full moon.
Yeah, my moon agenda said that. I think that's very cute.
Ooh.
It's like the first moon of spring.
And it's about to be eclipse season, so your last chance to manifest before things are getting wonky.
Which I'm wondering, can you manifest still on the new moon during eclipse season? Because eclipse only messes with the full moon, right? Or no, just like better not.
I think test it for yourself, but I think things are just like you manifest and then it comes in like a weird fucking way. It feels like, like things get like weirdly held up, or like, though, when those genies grant wishes that are like
they like trick you about it.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of happens with your manifestations where you're like, no, I wanted a puppy, but I didn't mean I wanted
a stuffed animal.
Yeah, or like an emotionally abused dog that I'm gonna now have to rehabilitate, or like, I don't know,
like it comes with strings attached.
Yeah, like there's some sort of like responsibility attached. Like,
I love that
your dog has a colon bag.
Okay, wow, Jesus, we're really going there. Well, I hope you guys did some stuff, either manifesting or some stuff to take care of yourself. I definitely plan on having a full moon bath later.
Oh yes, a good hot bath.
I love that.
You know what I'm learning about heat is it actually helps retain muscle. So if you're not working out, like just going into a sauna or taking hot baths or warm compresses help you to fight muscle, like, what's it called when it goes away? Degeneration.
Yes.
There we go.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah, so take a nice hot bath for your muscles.
Oh, or for your state of mind. Okay, guys, so this is episode 25, I believe.
Yeah.
We're in our quarter life.
I'm proud.
I'm proud of us. I hope you guys have been enjoying listening as much as we're enjoying making it. Today we thought would be our reflection episode on the March Meditation Challenge. Did you guys participate?
I did.
I did. Struggle. Whether or not you listened, we're just going to talk about meditation again as a whole, because I feel like it is such an important part of spirituality. It's mentioned like anytime I start listening to a new spiritual teacher or whatever, they're like, meditation is so important. And I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's just, I feel like it keeps slapping me in the face, and it's one of those things that is always going to be beneficial.
I think, meditation is like working out. You gotta just do it or make it a practice or try to find a routine with it. Or like, you don't always want to work out. Like, I don't always want to meditate. Like, and those days that you don't want to, you probably need it the most.
Yeah.
And I know it's really, really difficult. There were a lot of, I had days that I didn't during the March.
So I guess we can go into like the struggles that we had first. So I missed 4 days in March, and then I completely missed the week of Ultra. I went into the challenge thinking that meditating during that festival would help me like get grounded and, feel less chaotic during it, because it's an intense time. Like I literally land at night. The next morning you have like a 4-hour rehearsal, and then you have rehearsal on site, and then it's show day. And the shows, you get there at like 12 and you end at 12, but you don't get home till 3 because of traffic and taking out the hair and the makeup and all that stuff. So it's just like a lack of sleep and energy the whole time. And like, I didn't even have time to meditate. By the time I was able to rest, I was passing out. Like just head
exhaustion.
To the pillow. Yeah. So I forgot how taxing that could be on the body. I guess I could have technically woke up earlier and meditated, but like I was getting under 8 hours of sleep every day. So it was just like
Or was there like maybe smaller moments you didn't acknowledge, like in the makeup chair, or maybe like, I don't know, littler bites that would have been maybe more attainable?
Yeah, I think maybe if I would have like stepped outside, and like gave myself 5 minutes, but it's hard because I'm a leader at Ultra, so a lot of times like newer girls are coming to me with questions or asking about like going over choreo because I help assisted with that, or like social media, people are always asking me to take pictures of them. So it's like even the times where I'm not performing or like
There's always work.
there's always work
related.
because I have multiple hats on while I'm there, and I just think I kind of underestimated that. But maybe it's also a lesson on boundaries and telling people like, hey, I just need 5 minutes for myself, and to like, but even if I do step outside, it's a music festival, so it's like yeah, so it's not like the most peaceful setting anywhere you are, but yeah, that was kind of my takeaway from that.
I mean, Ultra is difficult. We did say going into it that we might not even do March because it was such a busy time for you. But then I know you maybe kind of felt like, oh, well, maybe because I don't want to, I should.
Yeah.
So
It definitely failed on that front. But it's okay. Like, you know what I mean? I wanted to be honest with you guys about it. And there were a couple days sprinkled in March that I didn't meditate as well. But they were always like full days. Well, one of them had food poisoning. So that day was just dying. But then the other one I shot a short film. And the other one I was on a yacht party for my friend's wedding. So that was the personal I just got drunk, day drunk. But
sometimes that happens.
yeah. What about you? What was like your struggles?
Well, I think that like you, after a full day of work, I was just like that's the last thing I wanted to do. I felt like almost a little resentful of the challenge of like, oh, another thing on my list sometimes. And that's when but I realized also that it is a time of day thing kind of with me. Like, I know I'm always exhausted in the nighttime. I'm a morning person. Like, I need to prioritize this as a morning routine.
Yeah, like while you're waiting for the coffee to brew.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of... and it was really hard for me to make a routine. Even though I was doing it every day, there was still like, just like part of me that was like, would push it off till mid-morning. Push it off till early afternoon.
Yeah.
And now it's 7:00. I haven't meditated today. And now I'm like, now I'm just doing it out of the guilt of the challenge, which I'm glad to have the challenge because I will say now halfway into April, like I've only meditated 3 times. So having that mentality definitely pushed me to even do it. I think I missed out of 31 days, like 8 total. So I'm like, I got a tight 23 there, which I'm cool with. Like, I don't know. I think anything is better than 0.
Yeah, that is true. It's hard because they say like, what is it, 21 days to like
build
a
a habit.
But I feel like it takes
longer,
more than that.
Yeah.
Like, I've struggled with the same thing. Like, we talked about it, like attaching it to something you already do, like brushing your teeth or making coffee or whatever. And I kept finding myself like being like,
I can do it later.
Well, after I do my emails, I have an audition. Let me just do that audition. Oh, wait, okay. Oh, I have 5 minutes. Let me just meditate real quick. I'll just throw it in there. And so I'm not prioritizing it still. Yeah. I'm not making it a part of my routine. I'm just like juggling it.
Some of them felt really good though. Like I will say, like I took, I think that's also just part of meditation. Like every time is not going to be like a healing time. You feel like you're taking away like, oh, I feel so good now. Like it's not going to be an immediate response every time. I think, we know that as humans, but we love instant gratification.
Yes.
So it's hard.
And it's like when you do get that one time you do it and it like feels great. And like for me, if like I have a really good meditation, I almost feel like
it's harder to go back. I feel like the next day
and have a bad experience.
Well,
like,
it's just harder sometimes. Like sometimes it's harder than others. And like after you have a really good time and you're like, wow, I was so present. I like really had much less mind wandering. I feel present. I feel relaxed. I feel like good.
Yeah.
And then you go to do it the next day and like maybe your mind racing a lot more. Maybe it's harder. So it can feel like a little discouraging.
Yeah. Especially because I feel like with when you're working on your physical body, like for dance, it's like every day you do the same movement, and then each day you do it, you feel your improvement like building because you're sculpting your muscles, you're practicing, you're getting body, awareness and memory. But like the mind is just much a bigger beast than like your body, your physical body, I think. So for me, it's like, I know as an athlete, if I do something over and over again, I can feel the improvement. Even if it's slow, I know that I'm chugging. Whereas like meditation, it could be like, it's like spikes. Like I'm sure if you like pulled out of the graph, you would be like improving. But like if you zoom in, it's like one day's great, one day's terrible. And it feels like those hills and valleys of improvement. But
well, it's interesting that you compare it to like working out in your body, because I can see a similarity in that, but in a different way. Whereas like, I feel like, I've reached points where like I've plateaued with my body. Like I'll be working out, but I'm doing the same stuff, and I know I'm doing exercises, but I'm really not seeing anything because it's things I'm used to. It's things I'm not like changing it up. It's like all the same. And then and so then I just don't see any growth, and then I'm like, well, I'm doing all this work and then I don't see any growth. So sometimes with the meditation, I did feel like, oh fuck, I'm just stuck in this plateau of like, I'm still mind racing. I still can't spend 10 minutes without losing track of my breathing or like becoming entrenched, because we really don't have great control over our minds. We don't have good like mindfulness training. And so
it's not really like taught anywhere. It's something you have to like seek for yourself.
So yeah, it's hard to start. It's hard to get the first 30 days under the belt even, because I necessarily didn't always feel like I was improving. I probably had like 3 meditations out of 23 where I walked away like, wow.
Yeah.
That felt good.
Yeah, it is true. For me with like ballet, I trained like a very strict ballet. So we did the same exercises every day until you perfected it. And then you can move on to the next level. And then you learn all new exercises. So it's crazy because you have to know your mind and your body so well to know when you have to switch it up, move to the next level, try something new. And so it was hard because like we talked about how I don't like to listen to meditations that are guided. And one of the weeks I tried to do a chakra guided one. Remember I told you that? And I just freaking hated it. And then I wanted to like it so bad. Yeah. But then that like week was like just so unfulfilling for me. I was just like, I want it to be over. I want them to stop talking. And I'm like, why did I push through that just to do it? It's such a weird thing to, I don't know. I maybe that's just like my personality type. But like a lot of times I like strong arm myself.
Yeah, Yui says that too.
Yeah, and I'm like, maybe it's an earth sign thing. And I'm like, maybe I should have just like dropped it. No one else was telling me I had to do the chakras. Like,
I also can be like that. Like for some reason, I'm like, why am I the only one caring at this point about
doing this
at all? Yeah.
Well, do you think overall though that you felt a benefit from meditating for the time of March?
I think I did. I think it's hard to, put into words all the ways that like it helped, but I think just taking time for myself. I think I also I think March was like really difficult for me. Like I think I dealt with a lot of depression, so meditating on top of that was like extra difficult. Like I said, it was like, it felt like another thing on my list of like things to do a lot of the time. But I think it helped in the way that like, if you do struggle with things, you can't obviously meditate your way out of it. I was like talking to therapists, the whole time. But I do wonder like how bad the month would have been
without it,
if I wasn't.
Like how it helped raise the vibration in total. What's interesting is I just started listening to the Law of Attraction book called Ask and It Is Given, The Processes. And I literally just started it. But the beginning talks about how your feelings are a map to your vibration, right? And Jerry Hicks went on to say like, it's hard when you're talking to people and therapists or whatever, because they will tell you like anger is a bad emotion that you shouldn't feel. But anger is technically one step above depression, which is a lack of hope. So when you're depressed and then you move to anger, you're moving up the ladder of emotions to get to joy. You know what I mean? So it's hard because it's like, depression is a higher step than, I'm at a lack of words, but you know what I mean? So it's like when you can move up the ladder in any way of your emotional state of being, because that's just a reflection of your vibration, then you're winning. You know what I mean? So every time you're working on yourself, you're like pulling yourself up in the vibrational planes.
Yeah, and I think honestly it's just seasons of your life, some months are just more difficult. Like, I don't know, everyone's familiar with when it rains it pours. Like, it feels like
the universe was throwing a lot of challenges at you at the same time. Yeah I feel like overall I can see the benefits of meditation. I don't know if I felt it because I don't think I was consistent enough. I think there were days that I was like, I'll just do 5 minutes and get it over with. And when you're going into something or anything, honestly, in that mentality, it's just, you're not going to get a lot out of it.
When you're like going in with the attitude to get it over with. You're
not really putting your full effort in. And
or
that's on
the
me.
intention of like actually being mindful of like trying your best. And I dealt with that too. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do just 5 minutes here. Because.
And I think I need to, either push myself in some way or really find the joy in it and working on yourself. I don't really have a morning routine in general because we are kind of like freelancers. So every week is a toss up. And I think that makes it really difficult. Like, obviously I brush my teeth every day, but that is different than like, meditating. Like, it's just.
And some days you have to brush your teeth and run out. And like, it's not like every day you can.
And I'm not one to set the alarm earlier. I'll tell you that.
Oh my God. I've been waking up way too early. I need to stop.
Not me. Okay. Well, do you think that you will continue to try to meditate?
Yeah. I need to figure out how to do it without a challenge mentality, I guess. I don't know if you've ever heard of operational range, but like they say like 21, but they do 30 days to build your habit. But the way you start building your habit is you start the habit at a more extreme version than what you're kind of normally going to land at. So if your goal is to wake up at 6:30 in the morning, you're going to start the 30 days by waking up at 6 in the morning. So that where you land in like the operational range is like at a more manageable place and like where you want to be. But also like it is a range because people's lives are cyclical, that there are times where you are like, low energy, low fatigue, and then like you can't really keep up with your normal, but you're just hoping that your operational range is at a point where when you're on the low end of it, you're still
managing
doing,
your goal.
You're still like, if it's working out, your lower end of your operational range is you're working out 3 times a week. Maybe it's not, the every 6 days you wanted, but on a bad week, you're still doing pretty good.
That's interesting. So maybe it's like, instead of just doing the 5 minutes, it's like really challenge yourself to do like 20.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'll land at 10, even 5. That's an interesting way to look at it. And I wonder, looking at May, because it's coming up. I mean, I guess it's like mid-April. I'm like, okay, maybe I challenge myself. I do want to get meditating and into my life because I do know on paper how much it can benefit me. Yeah. Especially like the way my mind works. But
I know that it did. Like I felt it some days, and overall I think it really wasn't long enough for us to be able to be like, oh yeah, we saw real benefits. Because if you think about it, I think the actual brain benefits like aren't seen until like people have been meditating for years.
Yeah. And I think I've read something that was like, oh, you won't like really see benefits until like 3 months. And there are a bunch of stuff like that. It's hard, but I think like the willingness to do something, if you can really like get down to the root of the why. And if your why you want to do something is important enough, then you can like implement it.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
I want to look at our survey.
Oh, thank you guys for who did respond.
Yeah, we sent out a little, there was like, I think 25 people who did the meditation challenge, or at least responded to it, but we only got a couple of responses to the survey. But it seems like overall everyone enjoyed it and could see benefits and felt like they would continue to meditate.
In the future, which is huge. But, you know, I love that people were honest and said, you know, out of the 31 days, I hit 20.
Yeah.
I hit 12. Yeah. I don't know.
And, like, even doing a few days and, like, putting meditation on the brain, I think is a win. Mm-hmm. Especially if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think I'm going to keep writing it on my to-do list. Mm-hmm. I think it's my problem that I think of it as a to-do. Yeah. Or like, you know, I need to try to reframe it. It's always when I'm low energy that I think of it that way. Yeah. So I just need to figure out how to do it when I'm not exhausted pants.
Yeah. I know. I really like doing it in the afternoon, which is so hard because your afternoons are different, because at night I'm tired and then I just go to fall asleep, and in the morning I'm tired, mm-hmm. and I'm not a morning person. So it's like, I don't wake up feeling ready for the day. I wake up feeling like I never want to wake up. And then I'm like, I'm going to have my coffee. So like for me, if I have coffee and maybe answer the emails, then I feel like that chunk is done and then I can meditate. But that's just not consistent. Yeah. You know, because then if I have an audition, then to do it too.
You got to stay flexible in your life.
It's very interesting, but...
So building a meditation habit might have to be flexible for you.
And I have like my app that reminds me, it's like, you should meditate. And I'm always like,
oh my God. I know. We always like download apps to make our lives better, and then like just ignore them when they try to help.
Yeah. You're just like, hey, don't be rude.
They're like, is this too long on Instagram today? And I'm like, shut up.
Don't be fucking rude.
I'm like, she's interrupting me again.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to try to, like, tonight, like, it's a full moon. I think I'm going to meditate and, like, look at the moon. You know, I think I need to do more of that, too. Like, look at the flame, look at running water, incorporate elements, like, go sit in the wind. Yeah. That type of stuff, just to make it more fun.
I for sure need to do some nature connecting and grounding. I've been just, like... running around. When you run around, like, you're just a little chicken with your head cut off.
Yeah, sometimes. You're a hamster in a wheel. I feel like I've been like just like grinding. Yeah. You know, I was thinking like, because it's the Libra full moon, and I was thinking about balance. Like that was like my journal prompt. And I was like, my whole life is so career oriented. It really is, but we're, you know, trying to establish ourselves in the world. So it makes sense, but it's also like, am I putting enough time into my friends? Am I putting enough time into my relationship or my own mental health, or, you know, those different things? I'm trying to think of, did you ever do the Artist's Way book? No. In the Artist's Way, they have like a circle and you chop it up in 6 ways. And I think it's like family, travel, like self, and whatever. And you can figure out how close to the center of the circle is like you don't do it at all, and like outside of the circle is like you're really good at it, and then you can connect the dots and see where you're out of balance. So I think in our society, our self is kind of put on the back burner a lot, because like we're at a society that really puts career and like having your shit together at the forefront, and like relationships. I mean, I feel like I need to focus more on my relationship in the sense of like, because I'm in a good one.
Yeah, you can easily neglect or like...
Yeah, like put it on the back burner. Like,
we're good.
It's there. Yeah.
We're good.
But then I also feel like people put a ton of pressure on relationships. Like I posted this cute video of me and Max through the years, and it's just all the comments like, put a ring on it, put a ring on it, put a ring on it. And I'm like, that's not necessarily what I want. Like, why? Yeah. But that's all the comments we get. And I'm like, I just don't know why people feel like that's appropriate. It's this thing like where our society, it puts like a marriage, kids, family, a good paying job above all else. Like if I was like, I'm going to take a year to meditate in India, people would be like, cool.
You're not going to get anywhere doing that.
Yeah, like, okay, what about money? What about that? You know, it's
And they're
just like
well,
they
my
wouldn't-
soul will ascend.
Yeah. And like people like think that humans who like travel and like stuff, they're like, that's cool. It seems unrealistic. Oh, you must have a lot of money. Like, it's always like people don't see the other benefits of like balancing out your life as a circle. But yeah.
I think we can all just really hone in on that message of balance and try to figure out what that means to you. And I think whatever your intuition is saying is a little off balance is probably right. So just try to take a second for yourself right now. And I think this summer, like summer gets so busy for me. I think that keeping a meditation practice in the next few months is going to be difficult, but I want to try. Maybe we can try to do another check-in, hold ourselves
accountable.
I
wanted to, keep it going too. Just think about this full moon and, harness its energy until it's like, I mean, this eclipse season's starting up, but like the new moon will be in a couple weeks after that. So it's like, if you can just be like, okay, have I done anything for myself today? Have I done anything, and meditating is for yourself. It does not benefit, well, I guess it can technically benefit other people because if you're a nicer person or you're in
less
control
hostile.
of your emotions. Yeah. So, but in the end, it's technically really for you.
Being less hostile is good for your heart.
Yeah. And your mind and body and soul.
Yeah. I think meditation was great. I think we got to just keep on
keeping on. I think it's one of those human challenges, kind of like working out the body. You got to work out the mind.
And eating right. It's like all things where it's like, yeah, if you don't do it, it's not going to work.
Yeah. And Max was just telling me that, like, it's really interesting. Max, my boyfriend, has a podcast where he does like fitness stuff, but
we
it's
can
not
plug
just,
it. Total Fit Heads.
Yeah, Total Fit Heads. But it's not just fitness body, but it's also nutrition and sleep and that type of stuff. And he had somebody on who said, like, it's crazy if like I ate a cheeseburger and it doesn't affect me, and if you eat a cheeseburger and you feel like shit the next day, that's because my body is used to eating cheeseburgers. So when you drink alcohol, when you eat shitty processed foods and you feel bad the next day, it's because your body is in shock and it's saying, please don't do that. And it's like struggling to like build this gate in your GI tract to block out these bad things. But when you keep doing them over and over again, like keep eating the bad food, like me, your GI tract gives up and it's like, okay. And it releases the gate and it lets you feel normal from eating those things, but those toxins are still entering your body, even if you don't feel bad. And that's something I didn't realize, because I was like, oh, maybe I'm just not affected by bad food. And it's like, nah, dude, your body gave up. So that's same with like, if you drink alcohol all the time, you're going to feel hungover unless you just keep drinking. It's because your body gives up and it stops fighting. So you have to mentally be aware and fight for yourself, because our brains are so strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot happening up there, you guys. So be nice to yourself too. If you're not doing things you wanted to do every day, me and Brittany didn't either.
Yeah, this game of life, it's just, you're supposed to have fun. That's the whole point of it. I've been listening to a lot of Abraham Hicks. Like I said, I'm listening to the Asking It Is Given book. And it's just like the basis of everything they're saying is like, you're supposed to be having fun.
Things aren't supposed to feel so anxious or sad or whatever emotion you feel like takes over your life. I don't know. If it's joy, fuck yeah. I don't know.
Just remember, if like at the base of it all, you're supposed to feel joy. Like even when the world feels like it's against you, just remember, like, you've been put on this planet to like experience, and like at the base of it, it's supposed to be joy and love and that all-encompassing source energy.
If you read The Alchemist, one mantra I always say to myself is, the universe is conspiring for me.
I just finished The Alchemist last month. So good.
Yeah.
You actually messaged me about it.
I know, it is so good. He's so sweet. That's our book together.
That's what he told me. So cute.
Well, I think on that note, we can wrap it all in a bow.
Wrap it. Yeah, let us know if you guys have anything else to say about meditation. You can always email us at contactfoolspodcast@gmail.com. Today we are going to be pulling from the Pleasure Oracle.
I just was feeling an oracle deck today.
And I feel like this is a very Libra vibes, like pleasure, beauty, pink. The like imagery is very aesthetically pleasing.
And like kind of matches my
Libra
pants.
vibes.
Like I love this color scheme that's happening.
Yeah, this oracle deck is made for exploring your longings, desires, drives, body, and soul.
We got windows to the soul. Whether looking in a mirror or staring ardently into the eyes of a partner, erotically charged eye contact is the ultimate vulnerable yet suspenseful foreplay. You'd be forgiven for thinking that arousal is unlocked through hyper exhibitionism alone, but from ancient tantric beliefs to modern film theory, holding the gaze isn't just an intimate emotional experience, it can also be a carnal one. So connect to the reciprocity, even slightly psychedelic states of gazing, thinking, bringing our brain into a state of deep satisfaction, soulfulness, physically and emotionally. Start with yourself in the mirror and then start with others.
I love that. So really take a good look at yourself, guys. Look into your eyes. I will say one of the only times I really feel affirmations work for me is when I fucking look in the mirror into my eyes and I'm like, you
and
are
take yourself
worth it.
seriously.
Yeah. And it's like, it's weird at first. And when you do, you like, it really can like resonate with you for some reason.
And then sometimes I'll say it and I know I'm like half-assing it and I'm like, say it like you mean it.
Yeah. When you're looking into your own eyes, you can't
run.
Play yourself.
No.
So I love that. You know, look into your soul, say some kind things, some affirmations. On this Libra full moon,
maybe
yourself.
get freaky.
Yeah, also maybe look into the eyes of your partner for a long time.
But avoid animals.
Yeah, no bestiality here, baby.
On that note, we will leave you with that one. Love you guys.
Love you. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye.